Welcome to our channel Lightling Vision. Today Mother will continue with part 3 on the subject of true love. So Mother will show us that through our life experiences that really when we feel like it's not good, it's really putting us on the way to true love. Welcome Mother.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for the first 2 parts that are really amazing. And today you will just conclude on the subject with more examples.
I'll try to make it understandable the best I can, so that this idea of true love can be applied to the life in a concrete way of an individual. Because talking about love it's a very vast subject. And everybody says, yes, I have yes or no love in my life, or true love has come in my life, or it has not come at all. Everybody thinks he loves and then finds out he doesn't. It's there all the time around us in some way or another. And we're always talking about love, but it's not very concrete somehow in the consciousness of a person. We talk about love as a way of living, but not of a consciousness that I know what's happening in my life and what am I doing and why. Or, moreover, what's happening in my life and what might be the reason for it. I think because, as I already explained, love has to do in the first place with a consciousness, or a state of mind, but consciousness. You will see that the experiences of life will lead you gradually to a better perception of what is true love, because your consciousness will widen. And in the last video I said at the end, when things spontaneously happen in your life, and then I'm mainly talking about disagreeable things, things that are not nice, because things that are nice you will not even think about it, you will take it for granted. It's nice and that's it. But if difficulties in your life appear, because, as I already explained, what you have come to learn on earth is to love better and better, to widen your consciousness of love, do not throw them away immediately. I'm not talking about life-threatening situations and extreme cases like that. I'm talking about ordinary daily life. If difficulties come up in many forms, in the couple, on your work, sickness, I've already mentioned it very often, do not immediately say no. Learn to say maybe or even yes, and see it as a challenge that life brings in front of you to deepen out your perception of love. Perhaps in the first place you think it has nothing to do with that, because in the form it doesn't present itself like that. But you will find out, when you give it a chance, this event, this situation, this difficulty, this trial, you will learn something very essential from it. Because you might even say that rejecting things can very often be a sign of not accepting love. But love comes to you in a disguised way, even in a negative way. But it's still love that wants to teach you something. And if you give it a try, you will find out that you have grown through it, through life experience. And then you will, if you analyze it even deeper, see that what you have learned has to do with love. Because you will see that life will on and on take you towards changing your vision on things, on people, on situation, on life itself. And that has invariably to do with love. Everything on earth, almost everything, it's something like an excuse only to learn more about love. You see so many people that are living a life of forced celibacy, and they're asking themselves if their life is wasted. from my point of view, I would say, try to accept the situation as it is. As an enormous challenge in this life or this phase of your life, because perhaps you still have time, to see what you can learn from it, because it might be you've only chosen or attracted this situation to become a better partner. Because something perhaps was lacking in your attitude. And you have to ameliorate that to attract a new kind of situation with a partner and have a better relationship. So being alone does not necessarily mean that something is wrong with you. But it's like a phase of reflection, of changing perhaps things, changing your consciousness, so that you can even build up a better relationship afterwards. People that are together, that have an experience together, might also live this in very different ways. You cannot not say because people are in a couple, they are happy. This is one of the biggest mistakes we can make in this world. We see two persons together and we immediately apply on them the idea of happiness. But what do we know? We do not. We are not near them every minute of the day, and we do not know how they live it. It might be a big trial, it might be nice sometimes, less nice at other moments, but what is sure is that it has to do with learning for those people also. But they're learning in another way. They're learning together, whereas other people, for the moment, learn alone. So what we should learn to see is that we all learn on a daily basis something about love, but not in the same way. And we still talk about love. Sometimes somebody says to me, yes, but they are couples, they are 80 and they're still swinging together and they're happy. I said, yes, they're swinging together on the same stick, but they're in a cage. Whereas you ask themselves why they are so happy, you are unhappy. I said, you're outside of the cage. Why don't you enjoy your freedom and live your experience fully? Then one day perhaps you will swing again in a cage, but that's your choice. But you cannot understand this couple that they are 80 and they are still happy unless you deepen out their experience more. Because as I already said, they're in a cage. They don't mind. That's why they are happy. But perhaps you would be very unhappy. What I wanted to say is that judging the situation of other people is very difficult, because we do not know how they live it, and it's not sure at all that you would live it in the same way, because you're another person when you were in their situation. Those people who are still together when they're 80 have learned to live together, to give and take, they have to make sacrifices to keep it all right between them. They have to accept some kind of limitation. Their personal wishes are not always fulfilled, that's sure. So there are sacrifices to be made if people want to stay together a whole life long. It is absolutely sure they both are making sacrifices. But for one reason or another, it's still worth it for them. That does not mean that they are perfectly happy. That's the wrong vision you have. They're not perfectly happy. They're happy in their own way with their sacrifices and with what they get out of the situation. But it's not sure, as I already said, that you would have been happy at that moment in that situation. So don't envy them, that has no use. And because you're another person. And in the second place, they have to pay a price for their situation. They also have to pay a price for human happiness. Human happiness always asks for a price on earth. The best thing you can do is see the riches in your situation. So, as I said, they are swinging on the same stick, the old couple that are still together when they're 80, but they have the cage around them. That's the sacrifices, that's the limitation they have to make. That's a natural law. You are outside of the cage. You have more freedom if you're alone. Well, then deepen out your situation and see what's good in your situation. And try to find the happiness in every positive side in your situation. And moreover, when there are difficulties, and there surely are, try to see them as lessons to become more happy. If you tackle them in the right way, if you try to treat them with acceptance and deepen them out for yourself. And then perhaps one day you will say to the older couple, I'm glad for you, but I can be happy in my situation. And when one day for me also a partner comes, well, that will be another experience. But it's not necessarily more happiness. Because I've tried to make the best out of myself and my situation. I think that's the best attitude towards love. Love has to do, as I already said, with the learning process. And being envious towards other people, it's human, it's normal. But resist, because you don't know. Every situation has a price to pay. And you better try to deepen out your situation, because if you stay on the surface in your own situation, you will certainly be unhappy. You're projecting happiness on others and you are unhappy. That doesn't work. You better say, my situation has its reason for myself. See everything that's positive in it. And what's not positive, see it as a road towards more happiness. If you go deeper in it, well, I think you can only win if you do it in that way. It's not every day easy, but that's life on earth. It's giving us trials every day. That's the apprenticeship. That's what we have to do here. But staying in a passive way, in an unhappy state, that's the worst thing you can do. You better say, well, why did I choose somehow this situation? Something in me has chosen it, otherwise I wouldn't live it. And where can it bring me if I try to understand what's the meaning for me of this situation?
Makes so much sense, Mother. Thank you. So we do this for material problems. We don't do this for problems in our life. So now we can apply it to our life and love and...
You better do it.
Thank you.
It will make you more happy.
Yes. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. And I invite you to listen to the beautiful song at the end of the video, and to also visit Lightling Art. And you can find all the music under there and many articles by Mother. So have a nice day, and we'll see you very soon.
Graag zou ik willen weten, waarom zijn de bergen zo hoog? Misschien om de sneeuw te vergaren, of het dal voor de kou te bewaren. Of misschien als een heilige poort voor de hemelboog. Daarom zijn de bergen zo hoog. Graag zou ik willen weten, waarom zijn de zeeën zo diep? Misschien tot geluk van de vissen, die het water zo slecht kunnen missen. Of tot meerdere glorie van God die de aarde schiep. Daarom zijn de zeeën zo diep. Graag zou ik willen weten, waarom zijn de wolken zo snel? Misschien dat het een wenk aan de mens is, die hem toont dat er eigenlijk geen grens is. Of misschien is het ook wel eenvoudig een engelenspel. Daarom Misschien dat de schepper laat weten zijn goedheid niet te vergeten. Of ook dat de ziel zich voor alles in schoonheid toont.